now we're on YouTube Live as well. Amazing, right? I'm in 2 places at once. How does that work? Well, all right, so I'm Mandeep, and I'm coming to you tonight all about Kundalini Yoga Therapy for self-healing. In these times, it is important for you to really acknowledge and be aware that this is about your self-initiation and your self-healing. Granted, there are many, many modalities and many different, I guess, teachers and healers, etc., that are coming forward that can support this process, but ultimately, you have to do the work. You have to be the one to acknowledge that you are your own teacher, you are your own guru, and you are very, very capable of self-healing. So what I want to come to you and teach about tonight is how important that sound is in this process that I just described to you, and the breath. And when we do the combination of the two, it's extraordinary. So there is a mantra sound code in the Kundalini technology that is called Satnam. And Satnam also comes from Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. These are seed sounds, and they're known as Sa, Ta, Na, Ma is known as Kirtan Kriya, or the Panj Shabad. Panj means 5, P-A-N-J. And, pardon me, Shabad is a prayer. So the 5 sounds that the universe creates in Sa, Ta, Na, Ma are S, T, N, N, Ah. And what these sounds are the sounds of creation. And by identifying them as the sounds of creation, when we loosely translate Sa, Ta, Na, Ma, it is birth, life, death, rebirth. So it's a depiction in sound and a recognition in sound of the cycle of infinity, which directly relates to your authentic nature, your true self, your soul. We have lots of different ways that we can utilize that particular Sa, Ta, Na, Ma and Satnam, because they both are in the same sound code frequency. Satnam is truth is my identity, and it contains the codes of Satanama. Satnam is truth is my identity, I am truth. It's an affirmation. And again, when we create the sounds Sa, Ta, Na, Ma, we're identifying and acknowledging that our infinite nature. So Satnam, I am truth. I'm connecting with you, soul to soul, in the frequency and the vibe of truth, our authentic nature. This is how we're interconnected. It's a soul-to-soul connection. And then Sa, Ta, Na, Ma is the atomic sounds, the atomic force of Satnam. So there's a couple of different ways I'm going to teach you about tonight to utilize Sa, Ta, Na, Ma, in particular with the breath. And we do these segmented breath patterns for self-healing, and I'm going to give you some very specific ways of doing this breath pattern and why you would do it. So first of all, when we do this segmented breathing, the inhale and the exhale are divided into specific parts, separate parts. And there's a slight suspension of the breath between each inhale or each exhale, depending which one that you're focusing on. There's a very distinct beginning and a very distinct end point to each segment, all right? So the segmented breath patterns are essentially stimulating your central brain and the glandular system in certain ways and in different ways. So the central brain is very much connected to our central nervous system. And the nervous system is such an important component of how we need to stay regulated. And by staying regulated, I'm speaking of emotionally and energetically not being in hyper or hypo state, depression, anxiety, fight or flight, sympathetic nervous system. We want to be in the parasympathetic, which is where we're very much in control and very aware of how our emotions are guiding our actions, yeah? And that our nervous system stays regulated between that hyper and hypo scenario. So we're going to be keeping the nostrils super relaxed, and we're going to be mentally vibrating Satanama. I sometimes find myself just during the day, I'll just like start to create these vocalizations of these sounds out loud because they're extremely relaxing. Why? Because it tones the vagus nerve, which is one of the primary nerve channels of the nervous system. And the way that we do it in a specific sing-song way. It's very traditional. Satanama, Satanama, Satanama. So I'll find myself chanting these sounds at various times during the day if I just need a little pickup or if I need to calm down. Either way, it serves me really, really well. It's very uplifting. It's a joyful sound. And because I'm identifying with my infinite nature, it really creates my vibration to be a lot more expanded, which is how I like to operate. So let me just share with you. 4 parts in, segmented, 1 part out, is healing, energizing, and uplifting. 4 parts in, 4 parts out would be clarity, alertness, and triggering the glands. And the glandular system is the guardians of your health. 8 parts in and 8 parts out would be calming and centering. 8 parts in, 4 parts out is focusing and energizing. 4 parts in, 8 parts out is, excuse me, unblocking and releasing. Let me have a sip here. Hot water and my hydration mix. Yum. Yes. Well, that feels better in my throat. Let me demonstrate then the 8 parts in and the 8 parts out, which is the calming and centering segmented breath pattern for self-healing. Now, if you want to have, again, a copy of this information, you just shoot us a DM on Instagram, or you can certainly type in a comment under our YouTube video, and we'll gladly respond and send you the information so you have a little bit more clear. But I'm going to remind you on Instagram, we're not going to archive this video, but it will be archived on YouTube. So I'm going to encourage you, after the video is done, to jump over to our YouTube channel, which is the Kundalini Sanctuary on YouTube, because it'll be there. It'll be archived for you to research and reference, right? Okay, so 8 parts in, 8 parts out. We're going to use Satanama, the 4 cycles of Satanama to create 8 inhales in. And then we're going to repeat that on the exhale out, keeping the nostrils relaxed, keeping your spine lifted, extended, chest lifted, just very soft around the face, eyes to the third eye. The hands can just be relaxed on the knees or in the lap. So we'll do 8 segments out, Satanama, Satanama. And we're going to be mentally vibrating this sound current. This is important. This is a very powerful way to connect with the sound current. I'm going to begin. And at the end of the last exhale, just simply sit quietly for a few moments. If you'd like to do the integration posture, which is what I've really been practicing and focusing on lately, is one hand on the heart, another hand on the navel point. You can certainly do that. You can also give yourself a gentle but firm hug. Both of these postures are wonderful to integrate your experience fully. So you would do that practice for 1 to 3 minutes. It works that quickly. It's a very, very fast acting experience that you create for yourself, but you have to be consistent in doing it. It's important to be consistent, and it's important to remember that if you've tipped into whatever state it is that you're non-regulated, you've got to bring yourself back in. You've got to rein yourself back in. No one else is going to do that for you but you. So this is all part of what I'm teaching, is this Jedi mind and Jedi warrior training, is to stay regulated, stay strong, resilient, strong nervous system, regulated nervous system, and super high vibe. So you'll notice that as I was doing that, my nostrils were very relaxed. You could hear me breathing in a very smooth fashion. There was a distinct beginning and a distinct end point to each breath. The diaphragm, as I said, was moving, the chest was lifted, my spine was lengthened, and the whole process was just really, really relaxing. So again, that 8 parts in, 8 parts out is calming and centering, all right? Again, 3 to 11 minutes is all it takes for you to have a very strong experience. Now, let me teach you about a little bit more, another practice on doing the Kirtan Kriya with some more breath practice. And again, we're going to be silently chanting, silently vibrating, Satanama, Satanama. So this now is another way of creating this sound and breath combination practice. Inhale for 1 repetition, exhale for 1 repetition. So this creates a very smooth pattern of breathing. Inhaling. I'm vibrating Satanama. Now I'm going to exhale, same thing. This creates me to breathe 6 breaths per minute, which increases my respiratory function and complete relaxation. Increases my respiratory function and complete relaxation. And when I'm breathing in a better, more optimal way, I'm increasing pranic, life force energy in my body, and I'm also releasing what no longer serves me optimally as well. So I'm creating a beautiful balance. Okay, so now I'm going to offer you to inhale for 1 repetition, hold the breath for 1 repetition, and exhale for 1 repetition. Not holding the breath out for 1 repetition. So I'll repeat that. Inhale for 1 repetition, Satanama. Hold, Satanama. Exhale, Satanama. And I'll continue with that pattern, and that puts me to 4 breaths per minute, and it brings me into a very natural meditative state. Heightened alertness, intuition, very much expanding my frequency, fantastic optimal state of being. Third methodology is you're going to inhale for 2 repetitions, and you're going to exhale for 2 repetitions. Inhaling, Satanama, Satanama. Exhaling, Satanama, Satanama. This puts me into 3 breaths per minute, which again puts me in a nice calm state and a heightened intuition, state of being, state of awareness, seeing the unseen, being incredibly intuitive. This pituitary gland has become optimized in its functionality. So again, inhale nice and smooth for 2 mental repetitions. Satanama, Satanama. Exhale. Satanama, Satanama. And you'll just carry on with that. All of these breath patterns are recommended to do for 1 to 3 minutes. Fourth methodology is inhale for 3 repetitions, exhale for 3 repetitions. This puts you at 2 complete breaths per minute, which enhances non-reactivity. This you need to build up to. And then finally, inhale for 4 repetitions and hold the breath for 4 repetitions and exhale for 4 repetitions. And this puts you at the master yogic breath of 1 breath per minute. This is amazing when you can build up your mastery of the breath and your mental functionality to be able to do this. 4 repetitions in, hold for 4 repetitions, and exhale for 4 repetitions. 1 minute breath gives you mastery of the mind. So you could do, for example, a great practice sequence of this would be you start out doing the 1 and 1, and then you 1 repetition and hold for 1 repetition and exhale for 1 repetition, and then you move into 2 repetitions inhale and 2 repetitions exhale, and then you go into 3 repetitions on the inhale and 3 repetitions on the exhale, and then try a couple of rounds of the 4 repetitions, hold for 4 repetitions, and exhale for 4 repetitions. And you would do this whole practice if you really want to have a beautiful, just a pure breath practice. You would do that for about 15 to 20 minutes. So you would do each segment of these 5 parts of utilizing the Kirtan Kriya, the Panch Shabad frequency in the mind, the sound codes of infinity with combination of the pranic life force, breath, pranayam practice. You would do that for about 15 to 20 minutes. Be amazing. You could do that before getting ready for bed, and you'd probably sleep like a baby. You could also do it at the beginning of the day and really set the tone of your day. All right, so finally I want to share with you some teachings about cold depression. So this is a term that Yogi Bhajan gave us, and what it is a totally overwhelmed, where you become literally a zombie state of non-existence. You are so overwhelmed, you're numbed out, you're just robotically moving around, if moving at all, and you're just in this complete unaware, unconscious, pretty bad state of being, really. It's a non-being state. And you become very numb and insensitive to your true nature. You've just locked yourself down. Unfortunately, we see a lot of this nowadays. Why is this happening? Because mainly information overload, this unrelenting stress that's unmanaged, and we don't have tools on how to manage it, or maybe we're trying to self-medicate, and we all maybe know what that is. It's substance issues. There's a lot of other things, food, sex. There's a lot of things that we unfortunately do to try to self-medicate. And rapid change. So those 3 factors are what contribute to cold depression. Information overload, unrelenting stress, and I should say unmanaged unrelenting stress, and rapid change. And this is what creates this cold depression, this phenomenon. And this leads to anger and a disconnection from our spirit, strength, and guidance, and it is a state of being in deep loneliness, deep sense of loneliness, isolation, self-isolation, anxiety, and a true loss of meaning. So there are methods to work with this. If you feel like, first of all, I recommend that if I'm speaking to you and you're watching this and you're like, holy shit, this is what I'm feeling. She's talking to me very clearly, and I'm identifying with what it is that, I'm explaining to you, that she's explaining to me. You hear me, right? Somewhere deep inside, I'm reaching you. Here's what you do. You come to class. You book yourself to come into the Kundalini Sanctuary because it's really important for you to be around people in a group consciousness, in a group, community group yoga class. That's the first step. You got to just pull up your bootstraps and just come. Just make yourself do it. And that's the first step. And then, you can have a conversation with me. I'm struggling. I'm having feelings of suicide, or I'm having feelings of hurting myself or hurting somebody else, or I'm just so fucking pissed off I don't know what the fuck to do, and I'm just going to drop a bunch of F-bombs because that's, kind of like how you are, right? Well, I can give you several tools that you can practice on your own, and one of them is a very powerful one using Sat Nam, and this is called the 7-wave Sat Nam meditation. So this puts you into your body in a way that you're vocalizing the sound, Sat Nam, and you're threading it through the chakra energy centers of the body. So you're waking yourself up. Because what we do is we focus at the brow point. We have the hands together just like this, because the thumbs need to touch the center of the sternum. And this will balance you and bring you into a state of just awakening, because it wakes you up. Putting the hands together, the brain starts to come online. No matter what's happening, you just do. Comes online. You put your thumbs here at the center of the chest. This is an activation of the heart center. And the heart starts to communicate to the brain, because the heart has its own intelligence system. It has its own electromagnetic field. It's extremely powerful. 108 powerful sun energies are in your heart. So when we create this mudra, a lot is going on. And it's a gesture of humbleness. It's a gesture of devotion. So you're starting to connect to your soul frequency. It's also a gesture of communication. We're going to focus here, and we're going to inhale very deeply, and we're going to chant the sound Sat in 6 waves of sound. And then as we get to the very top of the crown, as we visualize these energies, or this sound literally threading through the red of the root, the base of the spine, the orange of the sacrum, the yellow of the navel point, the green of the heart, the blue of the throat, the indigo turquoise of the third eye. And as we reach the crown, the 1,000-petaled lotus, we chant Nam. So it looks like this. Sat Nam. And as I'm threading this through in my imagination and my visualization skills and capacity to visualize this energy moving with these colors, with this sound combined, through the root, through the sacrum, through the navel point, through the heart, through the throat, through the third eye, through up into the crown, I'm gently pulsing each of these places in the physicality that I just mentioned to you. Base of the spine, around the pelvic floor, the navel point, around the heart, the chest just gently pulsates, the throat a little squeeze, the third eye, you're just having your eyes focused here, you're going to feel a pulse here, and then Nam, it just releases, and then it flows all down you like a beautiful fountain, comes all around, and then enters again. And so it just goes through this whole beautiful toroidal shape, enhancing your energy, and you start to feel, you start to wake up, and you also start to become more magnetically attractive and shielded. So let's try just a few rounds. Let's just try it. And try it with me. Sat Nam. keep doing that for 1 to 31 minutes. 1 minute will start to create a difference. You'll start to have a self-exalted experience in 1 minute. This is a quantum meditation practice. It's a quantum energy practice that works very, very quickly and very, very effectively. A lot of people tell me, I don't have a lot of time. I'm super busy. I've got about 10 things going at once. Well, that's what this yoga is for, because we can do things for less than 20, 30 minutes at a time, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, and make a difference. Just say it. So you do have time. You just have to make time, right? That's the thing. Okay, well, I hope that this has been helpful for you. Again, this is something that I've been practicing for about 18 years now, this particular yogic technology. And it has just made my life into a life of honestly, just pure joy, really. And I'm not saying I don't have challenges, because I do. Family challenges. I work hard. Sometimes it can be a little tough to keep going, but you know, I love what I do, and I feel like a real sense of true purpose to be able to share this with you at this time on the planet. And yeah, I'm going to keep going. So please, Instagram, remember, you're going to hop over to our YouTube channel if you want to keep referring to this, and also you can DM me on Instagram regardless if this is something that you're interested to get more info on. But you can always come to class. We have virtual options always with every class. And on YouTube, it's going to be archived and presented on our YouTube channel, The Kundalini Sanctuary. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. Go in beauty. Peace be with you. Until we meet again in the light of our hearts, sending you so much love. Satnam. Dog shift. Dog